as I have kind of looked at the Black intellectual tradition, one of the things that I think was kind of slow for me getting into libertarianism was I always had sort of maybe a sort of progressive outlook on things like kind of race and social justice and stuff like that. And then I kind of became more aware of the fact that there's kind of more diversity of thought in the Black intellectual tradition than I've kind of been led to believe. That, you have more individualists like Frederick Douglass and Booker T. Washington and Zora Neale Hurston, Thomas Sowell, I would say even to some extent Malcolm X. Right? But you also have that kind of more progressive collectivist trend of thought that's become maybe more dominant, at least in the public sphere. And it seems that I think the left has really tried to use that to suggest that being Black requires one to be on the left. I think even Joe Biden said that in a very explicit way, right? And so, but within that kind of claim, there's sort of a subclaim that if you're that intellectual strain of Black individualism, maybe even Black conservatism, Black capitalism, that doesn't really count, that's somehow less authentic. So could you speak maybe to the importance of maybe that kind of viewpoint diversity, but also maybe just of independence among Black intellectuals?
Yeah, there's been a dynamic in the African community which has made us a little bit more conformist, and that could be a good thing. Like we've been very conformist on religion and Christianity and things of this nature. So that's good, but it's also been there politically. And what Biden was touching on in a very inartful way was the pressure in the Black community to vote for Democrats and progressives and to Biden. But there's always been Black conservatives, Black moderates who vote for Democrat. I think what's changing is that they're now voting, the sort of conformity that used to be there is not there as strong anymore. And so they're voting based on their issues now rather than I'm Black, I vote for the Democrats because the Republicans want to, that they're bad, they're evil, and that sort of thing. So I think that's been a changing dynamic because it did surprise me how well Trump is doing among, especially African-American men. I did not see that coming. I thought Trump was going to win. 2016 when he won, I thought if he won again, it's basically the same reason why, because whites overwhelmingly voted for him. Whites are actually less likely to vote for him today than they were 8 years ago. But Blacks and Hispanics are voting for him in higher numbers. It's an interesting conundrum that I think that Democrats are going to have to think about. Some of the ways they've been able to approach the Black vote is not going to be as effective as it once was.
Yeah. No, so you talked about a shift maybe toward issues based. Like, what is it that you think that maybe more Black men are seeing in Trump that they didn't see in George W. Bush or George Bush or Ronald Reagan?
See, I don't think it's Trump per se. I think it's a cohort effect. I think it's just his time. I think what's happened to the Black community is that there's been less of a hold on. I mean, it's the postmodernism that's hit the Black community, but now you're free. And so what I think is you have Black men who probably would have voted for Bush under those conditions, not voting for Trump because they're pro-life or because they want lower taxes or because whatever issue is